Hey everyone, welcome back to Topher Drives, where tonight we are back with the 2026 Toyota Crown Platinum. I have spent all week with this weird lifted turbocharged hybrid sedan. I've put about 200 miles on it, and I figured tonight we would continue our about 3-week tradition of a final thoughts night drive. And while this isn't as exciting to look at inside as the Audi SQ5 that we drove at night last week, it is quite nice, it's quite comfortable, and it's quite serene, which is why I still wanted to do one more video on this, because this car is weird. I like weird cars. There's not really anything else like this on the market right now, and we'll talk about what this has been like to live with this week. Now, if you watched my other Toyota Crown video, my full review that I did with Emily, you'll know that I was actually supposed to do about an 800-mile road trip with this car, but that didn't super work out because unfortunately my grandpa passed away this week, and for obvious reasons I have had to stay in town. And you guys know my grandpa was a huge part of why I do this, got me into cars, all this stuff. I don't want to go into crazy detail on the night drive, but we'll dedicate this one to him. He was a big sedan guy. He had 3 Taurus SHOs, and the funny thing about this car is it does remind me a lot of the Ford Taurus and Taurus SHO. So let's quickly poke around this. We'll show you what the lights do and all that stuff. I do love this strip taillight on the back. I think that looks quite nice. The Toyota Crown, the actual Crown name, is quite iconic, not in the US, but it's been going on for something like 15 or 16 generations in Japan, and it's a pretty well-renowned big luxury sedan. And while it's really not that here yet in the US anyway, who knows if they'll continue the Crown line like they have been, but we do at least have a spare tire in the back and an absolutely massive trunk. This is proper sedan stuff. I mean, there are other parts of this car that aren't necessarily traditional sedan because it has cladding, it sits up kind of high, and the roofline isn't really super traditional sedan, but it does at least have a massive boot. Now, this is the Platinum trim. This is kind of one of the only instances where I would actually recommend getting the top trim. This one, as spec today, is about $58,000. It's brown, finished in bronze age. And the cool thing about the Platinum trim is it gets you the 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder hybrid max setup, which we see in vehicles like the 4Runner and the Tacoma. This has 340 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. And it doesn't end there. It's got AVS, the adaptive variable suspension, and rear wheel steering. So there's actually a lot of really cool tech going on with this Toyota Crown. Let's show you the back seat, because in my opinion, this is the best seat in the house with the Toyota Crown. The dimensions are a little bit weird up front, which we'll talk about once we get up there. But in the back, it is quite nice. And with this kind of dark ambiance right now, it just makes me want to go to sleep. We don't have anything too crazy for adjustments. There's no power rear seat or anything. And I do believe I'm sitting on top of the hybrid battery right now. But despite all of this, they've made this back seat very easy to sink into. And we even have little indents in the ceiling and these really nice kind of special looking headrests. And if I can find the map lights, there they are. Oh, those are quite bright. We're only going to turn the passenger one on. You can see it's sort of contoured to fit your head in a nice manner. You also have a fold-down armrest. Siri's listening to me. It's also a fold-down armrest with some cup holders. This is very squishy. You can make yourself quite comfortable in the back of the Crown. Now, the only thing that this is missing, and it's important to point this out for night driving, is ambient lighting. I think for my nearly $60,000, I would maybe like to have some ambient lighting strips on the doors. We do have some kind of illumination in the footwells here. You can see those kind of poking out from underneath the front seats, and your little USB-C ports are illuminated as well. But for the most part, not a whole lot going on in this cabin at night. I think they could have spruced this up just a little bit more. Let's stick these hazards on. Let you guys get a good look at our entire lighting situation here on the Crown. Got LEDs on the back, LEDs on the side view mirrors. And then on the front, our white DRLs cycle back from white to orange. No fog lights on this either. Hear that T24A coming to life. Couple of complaints with this car, one of which I have to talk about on the outside because it's something on the outside, and it is these wheels. While these do look quite cool, they kind of bring this whole look together, they're just too big. This is a 21-inch wheel. It's got a 45-section sidewall. Not acceptable for right now driving around in Michigan. I think they should offer this with a smaller wheel, and I think all manufacturers should start maybe offering a smaller wheel on some of these top trim cars, but that's a discussion for another time. Let's jump in here. We've got these illuminated sills you can see there, and also the little Toyota logo there projected underneath the doors, which is still doing its thing despite all of the crust and salt and everything on there. I mean, look at this floor mat. I've been clapping my shoes together trying to not destroy these floor mats, but kind of just is what it is this time of year. We'll turn these hazards off. So tonight we'll try and just chill out. We'll let the car do some of the talking, though it doesn't do much talking. It's quite quiet. So we'll kind of sum up what this has been like to live with this week, and that'll be it. So again, I would like to see some ambient lighting up here. We have the footwells illuminated, which I hope you guys can see. It's a little bit brighter on this side where I'm at, and then the cup holders are illuminated as well. So that's quite nice. But how much more elevated would this be, this actually very pretty dashboard, if we had a couple lines of ambient lighting? Now, one thing I want to compliment, we have a physical dimmer switch for the cluster here. So that is quite nice. The only thing I don't like about this is it only dims the cluster. Unfortunately, we don't also have a physical dimmer switch for the infotainment. You have to go to the little cog menu, and then you have to go to display, and then you can dim that this way. I have this locked into nighttime mode right now. You can see here's your brightness adjuster, which works quite well. You can also adjust contrast on this. But if you want this to be in daytime mode, if you're a psychopath, you can do that. I like to run this in night mode no matter what. Just like my iPhone, I do the same thing. We have wireless Apple CarPlay on this. I've been listening to Celine Dion, which was my grandpa's favorite, so we've got her on there right now. But I also like the in-house navigation. That works quite well too. We've got a volume knob right here in the middle, and I think one of my favorite illumination bits is they don't light up the little power symbol in the middle that rotates with the knob, because that bothers me. But at night, I can't tell, so that is quite good. Physical climate control panel here. I've got my heated seat and my heated steering wheel on, so I'm nice and cozy. It's 17 degrees outside, so that is quite cold. Luckily, we have a heated windshield for if the wipers get icy, we can take care of that. But okay, let's go out on the road. I don't like this shifter. And it's so funny because I've lived with this shifter in so many cars. One of my favorite cars in the entire world has this shifter, the LC500, but something with the way they have it in this Crown, it just has not been agreeing with me this week. I could never get it to go into reverse on my first try. It always beeps at me and tells me to apply the brake when my foot's already on the brake, so I think I'm just not being patient enough with it. But in most settings, the shifter does okay. Coasting here in EV mode. This is a very quiet and serene experience here in the Toyota Crown. And that is what I like most about it. I started this week and honestly have been thinking all week while I've been driving this, who is this car for? Who would buy this? And I think it's people like my grandpa that are just kind of like old and single. Maybe you've still got grandma around, but I think it's for somebody that doesn't really have to like do much anymore. Like you kind of just want to drive around in comfort and in style. I mean, this is quite an attractive car on the outside. Comes in brown, every old man's favorite color. Or car journalist, I suppose. You can see there we have cross traffic alert. If I take my foot off the brake while we have traffic coming by, the car will tell me not to pull out. That's a good reminder. Thank you, Crown. Anyway, though, there are a lack of American sedans on the market right now. Chevy doesn't make the Impala anymore. Ford doesn't make the Taurus. Chrysler pulled the plug on the 300. So what do we have left? I guess it's this. This is the car that grandpas should be buying. And I like that. There are good things with this car that make it fun to drive as well. The rear wheel steering, the 400 pound-feet of torque. I mean, this car, put some 93 octane in it and it absolutely scoots. I didn't talk about what's attached to the 4-cylinder either. We just have a very basic old school 6-speed torque converter automatic. How grandfather is that? And it's all-wheel drive, of course, so you can drive it year-round. I would just recommend getting a smaller wheel and a different tire for your winter duty. But this car's done everything I wanted it to do this week. It's been comfortable. It's been decently efficient. It's been doing about 25 mpg. EPA rates it at 30 combined. But really what's so enjoyable about this is that it's something different and it's not an SUV. I know it has some kind of SUV features. It's lifted up, it's got some cladding, but at the end of the day, it's a sedan. It does sedan stuff. It's got sedan dimensions in most areas. The only dimension that I don't like is from the A pillar to the B pillar. I think the headroom up here is a little bit awkward, and if you were any taller than me, I'm 5'11". I think if you were any taller than me, you'd be having some issues in this car. So something to keep in mind. I don't think the seat goes down far enough either. We're gonna bump this into sport. I went the wrong way and did eco. You can see there though, like seriously quick. This is a big thing too. It weighs over 2 tons, about 4,200 pounds. But it just rips, so we've got a bit of an emergency situation going on over there. It's a reliable transport truck. Should we go do a heist and steal Ferraris? Anyway. This adaptive variable suspension does a fantastic job compensating for these 21-inch wheels. So much, in fact, that there's a mode called Rear Comfort, which proves that the Crown is the most comfortable from the back seat. I think if you could drive it from the back seat, it would be the best car in the world. Coming up here on a Ford Taurus. There you go. Don't know why he got over here, but we're going to be chilling in the right lane, which in the US is the lane that nobody uses. As you can see, wide open right lane, nobody in it. But gives us a chance to show off our cruise control. We're only going 70 miles an hour, 71. But obviously this Toyota Crown has pretty much the full suite of Toyota's driver aids. We have lane tracing, we've got adaptive cruise, all of which seems to do a pretty good job, but it's not over the top, which I like. We don't have like fancy lane change assist or anything in this. It's just complicated enough where I think most grandparents could figure out how to use this. All the lanes just do the same thing. I guess we'll just stay over here behind this BMW going 65. And we're also going to bump this into... Why don't we try out eco mode? Numb things out a little bit for us. My tire pressure display up here on the left. See all tires there at 33 psi, but I'm terrified that I'm going to hit a pothole and just obliterate one of them. So we've got that display up right now. This is fully customizable, but I like my tire pressure and my little gauge over here that tells me what the hybrid system is doing. Nice. Cross the lane, no signal. You know what they say? A good driver sometimes misses an exit. A bad driver never misses their exit. Don't do that. Don't do what that guy just did. I think you guys probably could use this video to go to sleep. This car is so quiet. And if you want a no-talking version of the Toyota Crown Night Drive, I did film one for Winding Road Magazine that is just the car, no commentary. So go check that out. The Winding Road Magazine channel is linked in my description, as well as the full review to this car if you'd like to learn more about it and see Emily. You can jump over and watch that. Put this back into normal mode. Are in normal, the ABS dampers are borderline floaty. They're super soft, which I think is quite important for a car like this. I think you want it to be almost too soft. But the cool thing about this is you can adjust these, put it into sport, it firms them up. And I've been saying all week, I think Toyota could get away with putting a GR badge and a body kit on this and nobody would complain. Have the GR Sport crown, because it's got the power and torque to back the badge. And it is genuinely fun to drive when you get it into a performance section. I mean, I can bump this up into sport right now and we'll take this exit ramp with a little bit of gusto. And it just hangs on. We're on a Bridgestone something all season. Just comes around really nicely. Steering weight, surprisingly, is a little bit on the heavy side. Certainly not too heavy for a grandparent, but I could see this being lighter. But I think they probably tuned a little bit of weight into this to add the illusion of precision, especially with, I guess it's not an illusion, it is just precise with this rear wheel steering. It makes maneuverability very easy when you're in parking lots and things, but also it's a very trick rear axle on this car because the speed at which you're traveling changes which direction the rear wheels are turning to help you. So at a low speed, they'll turn in the opposite direction of the car, but at a high speed, they'll turn in the same direction of the car. It's very complicated stuff, but it all works very nicely. And the ease of driving this, obviously it all has to start with the inputs, and I meant to mention that right away. But accelerator pedal, brake pedal, steering, all of it is very good, very easy. And this is trusted stuff for Toyota. I mean, Toyota, they've been making hybrids for so long. If they had a weird input, I'd be worried, and they don't. Even though this is a little bit more of an untraditional setup in this, with it being turbocharged and having a torque converter automatic, everything is just calibrated beautifully. I mean, I think any sort of hybrid system, Toyota's going to have no problem ironing out all of the imperfections, and it really just is an impressive car to drive. For something that feels kind of out of place in the market, it doesn't feel out of place to drive. I think as we make our little final trek here into the city, why don't we show you guys what this JBL sound system can do. Now, we tried out a couple of new sound system test songs in the full review of this car, but I want to go back to our roots of the night drive, and we'll use Cobalt here, and we'll see what this is like with a song that we know pretty well. I personally think that these JBL systems have been getting better. Now, this is a pretty good sound system. Do I think it's like groundbreaking and insanely impressive? No, but it does the job. It's powerful. It's got crispy highs from these A-pillar mounted tweeters here, and it gets the job done for me. I think this is an appropriate sound system for around 60 grand in a sedan like this. We do have an automatic brights function, which Toyota separates into a physical button over here on the left-hand side. I do like that because I don't like auto brights, so I always run with them off, and I hate when I have to like spam the headlight stalk to be able to turn them off. This is nice to just have the button right here, easy to see. I also like when companies put a little button on the end of the stalk, but I mean, it doesn't get any more straightforward than this here. As far as EV mode goes and transitions, that's all good as well. This does not have a standalone EV mode button like some other Toyota hybrids do. And during this frigid, below freezing week, I haven't really found this running in EV mode a whole lot. Usually only goes EV mode up to about 5 miles an hour, and then the 2.4 liter kicks in. When you drive these cars on warmer days, I find them staying in EV mode a little bit longer. That is referring to 4Runner and Tacoma. This is the first Crown that I've driven with this hybrid max setup, so my only experience with it is this week. EV mode up to about 12 miles an hour there. Might be a record. All right, let's get this thing into the city. See, right now we are chilling in EV. Get some cool little EV noises there as you decelerate. And you've got pretty nice touch points in this Crown as well. The leather on the steering wheel, the softness of the elbow spots. You guys know I'm big on that. You've got comfy elbows in this car. And the seats are quite nice as well. Really, really soft material. I don't know if these are like the Lexus New Lux or if they're actual leather. I'll have to check once I'm done filming because I didn't. But good comfort here too, beyond just the softness of the material. You've got good lumbar support for your back. Build quality here seems to be pretty nice too. This is built in Japan. And even with it being super cold this week, haven't had really anything in here rattling. Nothing's been buzzing. And, you know, this goes along with these nice touch points. There are some things in here that are a little bit of a cheaper plastic material, like the top of the door panels. Top of the dashboard is not really, I mean, I guess the top of the dashboard's a little bit nicer. But there are some bits in here that remind you, yes, this is a Toyota. It's not a Lexus model, though the Crown is kind of the closest you can get to a Lexus without the badge. I said this about the Crown Signia, and I think the Crown Signia may have been even a little bit nicer than this Crown Sedan as far as interior quality goes. But this is still very nice, and it makes that $58,000 price tag make just that much more sense. Just whisper around. Still in EV mode. 16 miles an hour. 17. 18. Can we do 20? No, not quite. Also got a manual mode if you desire to shift these 6 gears by yourself. I don't know what I'm going to do in Sport Manual right now, but we'll at least show you guys how this stuff works. Pretty straightforward. Slow down for the pedestrian. This will actually rev match downshifts. Check that out. It won't give me first right now, but if you're coming into a hot corner in third, you grab second, you know, it does the rev match in a proper fashion. Here's your interior map lights. You can do one side or the other, or you can turn them all on. We're going to leave them on for my thumbnail opportunity up here. I think they could be better. I mean, this isn't really a whole lot. Let's see, not a whole lot of light on the steering wheel here. I mean, they'd be enough for a map, as I suppose they're intended. But I like when an interior light, like, lights up the whole cabin. I think the more light you can get on an interior, the better. This is pure chaos tonight. This is usually my favorite spot here on our little night drive loop. Okay, let's get out of all that gridlock and let's get ready to wrap this up in the parking structure over here on the left. We'll kill the map light. Let's get this up the structure and give you some final thoughts here on the 2026 Toyota Crown Platinum. One of the few cars I would recommend actually getting the top trim, because Toyota does trim lock this powertrain. You can't get this in any lower trim, and I like it and I don't like it. I mean, obviously it would be cool to get the Hybrid Max in the base model. Look at this Hello Kitty Mercedes SL. My general consensus on this car is that I quite like it, and I've been liking it more and more as I drive it this week, because it is kind of a car that's up my alley. It's a sedan, it's brown, it's comfortable, it's got good torque, it's soft inside, it's got a good sound system. I think if they could somehow improve this roofline design, it would be even better and suitable for more people that are tall. What are we doing? I don't think that's allowed, but we're going to let that person try and figure that out for themselves. But I seriously do see this as somewhat of a modern-day Taurus SHO, and what's cool about this is it's actually decently efficient as well. As I said, rated at 30 mpg. It's supposed to do 32 mpg on the highway. That's the beauty of this Hybrid Max setup. But it's still comfortable, it's still fun. You know, you can take hard corners, the rear wheel steering helps, the variable suspension, we've said it all so many times, but it all does work together. Just hit my head on the ceiling because the roof line's too low. It all does work together to make something that's cool, that's unique, that you don't really see. I mean, did we see another Toyota Crown while we were filming this? I don't think we did. And it does make me a little bit sad, because who knows how long they're actually going to make this, but all the more reason to have yourself one. Stand out from the crowd. Be different than the person buying a hopped up Toyota RAV4 or a Highlander or something, you know. Stand out from the crowd, get a crown. That's what I have to say about this. We're going to back this in right here under these lights, and we'll give you guys one last look at this thing. pack it in next to an E92 BMW. We're going to leave this running so I can be nice and warm when I get back in. But hopefully, look at that. Can have a bigger slot right there if you would like to. Cool. There's the 2026 Toyota Crown Platinum at night. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. And let me know if you are continuing to like these night drives, because they are a ton of fun to make. Something a little different. I can go out, I can be mellow, I can go for a nice little peaceful drive. And I'm looking forward actually to doing more of these in the summer, because then we can go windows down in the city. Or if we have a convertible, you know, that would be great. But this is what we're working with right now. 17 degrees, lots of ice boogers on the car. So I do always like to kick those off. But that's going to do it for us today. Let me know if you guys have any questions, but this has been a treat to live with this week. And I think with a couple minor changes, this would be just about perfect. So that's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys again all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. And good night if you're using this to go to sleep, but I think I talk too much to sleep, unless you think my voice is like ASMR. But anyway, okay. Goodbye.